Ready to rock and roll on a Thursday here with you, Mike Randle, Chief Content Officer, FTN. We are ready to get into the games. The content is flowing. We have deals for you here, folks. We have a giveaway that is coming up on Saturday that you're not going to want to miss. A free giveaway. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment. We have some good stuff to give to you as well. Make sure you hit the promo code FTN Hoops. Get you 35% off for either the month, the year. It's an incredible deal. Daily bets. We have you covered, FTN, and we have the great stuff coming up for March Madness. I cannot wait. Yesterday, 50-50 day. Up and down. Couple things disappointing. Minnesota not showing up. Very disappointing. Got stunned by Indiana. Still fading Indiana. It's not a perfect science, but I do not like that team moving forward. And Tennessee, the real deal. Almost got the cover with the dunk at the last second, but real deal Tennessee. Boy, they look fantastic. And that is the team, my ride or die as we get into the NCAA tournament. We have a ton of games today. Conference tournament season. Looking for underdogs. Also looking for neutral court unders. That's something I want to explore. Looked at it last year. And, of course, hitting these first half games I like of teams that have played a game before against teams who have not. All things are coming together. Going to get you through it. Here we go. Let's get started. I like Coastal Carolina plus 11.5 versus Louisiana. Coastal Carolina, very well coached, of course, by Cliff Ellis. Does a great job. They have been struggling up and down this year. But I like this team in this spot. They're coming off a win over Louisiana Monroe. They're on the neutral court site here. Now playing Louisiana. They had some tough battles at the end of the year. James Madison, Arkansas State. These are tough teams, but they usually show up and compete well. I expect Louisiana to come out slow. So I like Coastal Carolina on the first half as well. So let's give me a first half line and an overall line. I like Louisiana, and I really love it if somehow Coastal got it upset here, because Arkansas State is a bet that I put in the tracker here at FTN as a possible long shot in the Sun Belt. So Coastal Carolina, not great with the turnovers, but playing a Louisiana team that I like under Bob Marlin, but also not great shooting three and not great defending inside the arc. So I'm on this game, like Coastal first half, like them for the full game as well. Same with Valparaiso against Belmont. Have not been impressed with Belmont this year. They're not the normal team that you see. There's been a couple games where they shot the three well, and they've been hot lately, but now they're playing a Valparaiso team in the first round. This is going to be, of course, in the Missouri Valley, and you're going to be at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, so it's going to be on a neutral site. And Valpo had a lot of turnover, a lot of players coming in from different teams, had to take a while to gel here. So as much as Belmont with Casey Alexander likes to shoot that three, we're on a neutral court. I'm going to take the big points with Valparaiso. I think they're going to keep this one close. I got them with 13.5 in that matchup. And Valparaiso now matching up with Belmont. Looking forward to that and taking them on the first half as well in a matchup. I just think this is now a time that Valparaiso has played Belmont just once this year. When they played them, it was a big loss. Valparaiso at home. Belmont shot the lights out in that game. They ended up shooting 12 of 21 from three-point range. I don't think they can recreate that on neutral court. I think the game stays close. One of the teams that I love is Southern Miss, and I'm laying the 2 points against Texas State. Texas State with the slow, grind it out mindset usually does well at home, but on the road, sort of a different team. They did beat Old Dominion on Tuesday in the Sun Belt here in their opening round game. But I like this Southern Miss team, and I think they are loaded. I think Corbella back, Crowley back. Not sure about Donovan Ivory. I'm wondering about that, but I'm seeing the line move, so it's possible that he can play. This team is a long shot for me. We put this out here on our social media accounts. Possibly a team that can make a run, Southern Miss, in the Sun Belt. So I like them here against Texas State, who is a good physical team, struggles on offense, usually plays well at home. Going with them there. Wisconsin reminds me of a Miami North. Miami is dead in the water. A lot of talent, hasn't clicked, played Boston College at home, lost outright, comfortably outright in that game. Wisconsin struggles the other way around. If Wisconsin was going to get it going, they would have gotten it going recently, and they haven't. Wisconsin has lost 7 of 9 games and lost to Illinois at home, lost to Indiana away. Now they're playing Rutgers. Why are they getting it together now? Why is everything suddenly clicking now? AJ Storr, very disappointing, sort of become a little more passive, possibly thinking of transferring, leaving Wisconsin. All that stuff's on the table. If Wisconsin was going to get it going, they would have gotten it going beforehand. Like Rutgers, like Steve Peichel, like their defense, low game, slog. Even though it's on the road, I'll take the points with Rutgers there. Quinnipiac has been given a gift. Quinnipiac lost to Fairfield at home with a chance to sort of solidify the MAC regular season title. So they dropped to a tie with Fairfield and St. Peter's. Then what happened is Fairfield goes out and suffers a loss away at Marist on Friday. So Quinnipiac has now been given second life in the MAC. They are 13-5. They're one game ahead of Fairfield, one game ahead of St. Peter's. All they have to do is beat Marist at home and go away to St. Peter's, and they win it outright. And even if they lose away at St. Peter's, if they win this game, they are guaranteed a share of the MAC regular season title. They are not losing at home to Marist today. Too much on the line. Quinnipiac, a great free throw shooting team, plays with pace, doesn't turn the ball over. I will take them in this spot. Siena has been tough because so many players are in and out of the lineup. It's home. Siena beat Niagara at Niagara, but that was with a totally different team and players that are now not available. And you have to check because it comes up very quickly with them. They played Niagara. They beat them at 93-88 in that matchup. They had Sean Dura-Gordon, 36 points in that game, made 16 free throws. The issue is that Dura-Gordon for Siena hasn't played for the last 4 games, and I don't know if he's playing tonight. So without him in the lineup, Siena really struggles. I'm only making it a half unit because you have a feeling that maybe players could be coming back. Nobody knows. Niagara minus 7.5. They lost to Siena, but that was only because Dura-Gordon had a monster game with 36 points. Half unit here as well. Don't like Iona, the 3-point variance. This is almost a live betting situation. If Iona comes out to start the game and is banging 3-4 threes in the first couple minutes, the game is over. That's how simple Iona has been this year. They're very 3-point reliant. They can struggle against teams that they're superior to, but they're very streaky. If they hit the shots early, they're going to hit them the whole game. If they don't hit the threes early, they really struggle and they start forcing bad shots. I'll take Manhattan plus 8.5 here at home against Iona. But again, this is a perfect live betting situation because Iona is not a team, if you look at their box scores, that ends up missing threes in the first half and gets scalding hot. Either they're hot for the whole game and they have one of these 50% 3-point shooting games, or they're not. Flip a coin. I'll take Manhattan plus 8.5. Fairfield's going to be super angry after losing that game. They are not losing at home to Canisius. Well-coached team, disciplined team, good athletes, can attack the basket. Fairfield, really good from 3-point range, number 1 in the MAC. At home, I expect them to continue that. They're number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency. They're playing a Canisius team that they beat away by 25. Canisius, just coming off a loss to Ryder, terrible in the free throw line. Also, you know the story if you've been here. I hate teams that can't make free throws on the road. Angry Fairfield team, shoots the 3 well. Canisius can't make free throws. I think they take it there. I hate Temple as well. I'm fading Temple minus 2.5 UAB. UAB looked fantastic for a half against Memphis, but then they got absolutely boat raced. They got 58 points. They were beating Memphis at Memphis 59-26, and then they only scored 26 points in the second half. And they actually gave up, 60? I'm sorry, 60 points to Memphis in the second half. But Temple doesn't have that level that they do. UAB, solid team. They've lost 2 in a row. I think they right the ship here against Temple that is just not good. Not good. Turns the ball over. Don't like them. Small wager here, Bucknell versus American. 2 teams that are battling, and they're battling in the Patriot, but it's really going to be Colgate. It's Colgate every year, and they dominate through and through. Bucknell is coached by John Griffin. He's going to have his team ready for a good performance here in the tournament. They lost to American away in overtime in their first matchup, and they lost at home. This is the 3rd time. I like John Griffin as a coach. I think he does a good job. They're great at defending the 3. And American generates almost 38% of their points from beyond the arc. So I like Bucknell in this spot. The game is at American. They're home, but I think Bucknell keeps it close. I'll do the 5.5 there. Lehigh is sort of my sleeper. It's the only team I think can actually challenge Colgate, and they played well and covered for us in that last matchup. The issue with Lehigh is they've dealt for a long part of the year without a significant player. The player that they wanted that has really struggled was Keith Higgins. And Keith Higgins has returned. He makes a huge difference. Higgins has pumped in 14-14, 11-8, makes some threes. He missed 3, 6, 9, 10 games in the middle of the year, but he's back now. He makes a huge difference. I think they get the job done here over Lafayette. They actually beat Lafayette away with Higgins in the lineup. That's a big addition. I like them -2.5 in this matchup, even though we're looking at a rivalry game. And even though the game is away at Lafayette, I'm going to take them and lay the points. Like this Illinois State team, don't like Evansville. One of my favorite tournaments here is the Missouri Valley because it's Arch Madness. Evansville is coming in this tournament having lost 7 straight games. I like teams that have at least a little bit of momentum coming into the conference tournament, and they're playing an Illinois State team that, on the other hand, has won 4 of their last 6, including a win away at Indiana State. So Illinois State is actually playing well. Illinois State is great on the boards. They also are very comfortable at a slower pace. That's what's going to happen in a lot of these tournaments in the conference because they're going to be close. I'll take Illinois State -13.5. Look, Colgate never takes their foot off the pedal in the conference tournaments, and I can't see them doing it here. 19.5 is an awful lot, but you have to go to Colgate to win. They're not going to mess around. They're covering big spreads. They're winning by 15, 16 points. I know 19.5 points is a lot. It's very tough to cover 20, especially in 2024 college basketball, but I'm only going to make it a half unit, only because every time I've seen Colgate, if you go back in the past, they win the Patriot, and they don't take their foot off the gas. They win comfortably. So can Colgate beat Holy Cross at home by 20? I think they can. I think it's worth a half unit. I'm taking them there. Cleveland State versus Youngstown State. I will take the 9.5. I'm not sold on Youngstown State. I understand they like to push the pace, get up and down the floor, but Cleveland State has a ton of athletes, especially inside. Tristan Aruna, who's transferred from Kansas, can be very tricky. Tay Williams as well. Like this team now. They beat IUPUI really comfortably at home. They're going on the road to Youngstown State. This team defends the 3 well. This team doesn't turn the ball over. They do struggle with free throws. I understand that. But Youngstown State on the other side, solid on defense, but offensively, not great from 3. Not great. Not going to force a ton of turnovers either. Just too many points for me. So as much as Youngstown State wants to push it and they can score and they're good, they're also benefited from teams being terrible from the free throw line against them. So I'm taking Cleveland State +9.5 in the game. I'm pretty sure is going to stay close. I don't like Purdue Fort Wayne. Haven't been impressed with them. I know they can score, but Oakland is the better team. They're also the better coach team. So as much as in the horizon, Oakland, as much as Purdue Fort Wayne will enter this game coming off the win over Robert Morris at home, now they have to go away to Oakland. Oakland is really tough with Greg Campy. They make their free throws. They shoot 3-pointers really well. They defend inside the arc. Just a very tough team to prepare for. They played Purdue Fort Wayne away, and they won by 8 points. Then they played them early in the year, and they lost at home. So this is not a situation, if you believe in that superstition, which I don't, which is, play a team 3 times. It's not tough to beat a team 3 times. It's tough to blow out a team 3 times because coaches make adjustments. But these 2 teams split. I like Oakland. They've played real solid. They've won 5 of 6. The only game they lost was to Wright State, who just got scalding hot. And you look overall, they've won 8 of their last 10, with the only loss there being an overtime away loss to Northern Kentucky besides the Wright State fumble. I think they're the better team. I'm taking them there. Half unit play. I think Navy stinks. Don't like their offense. Don't like the turnovers. BU getting 3.5, laying 3.5 at home in this matchup. A Navy on the road. You take a look at Navy in the Patriot on the road. Yes, they won an American. This team lost at BU by 9. They lost at Army away. They lost to Colgate away. They lost to Lehigh. They lost to Bucknell. They lost to Lafayette. Not a great team on the road here. It's really not. They did beat Loyola Maryland, but I think BU ready to go, coming off 5 straight wins to end the year, and including 2 overtimes. This BU team, great on the defensive boards, doesn't give you second chances. Well coached by Joe Jones. I'll take them there. As much as Jacksonville has been in Darling and getting hot, Stetson has a huge advantage in this matchup. Stetson here in the ASUN has a chance to play them on their home court. Stetson came out slow, as usually is the betting way that we like to follow. That Queens, who won the game before, came out, actually covered the first half line, which I think was 2.5, and then Stetson pulled away. Stetson right now is the heavy favorite left in the ASUN because of the upsets. I like them here. They're home playing Jacksonville, a team they just saw a couple weeks ago, about a week ago rather, and they hung 86 on them away. I think the Stetson team is good. I think they're winning the ASUN. I think they're getting the automatic bid, and I'm laying the 5.5 points. I think it's too short of a number. Western Illinois' rebounding always plays well in tournament settings. I will take them here over Tennessee State. Western Illinois has sort of a long shot, if you want to believe in long shots, in this matchup in the Ohio Valley under Chad Bedreau. Their team that's great on the offensive boards. They've continued that from the prior coach. And they're also entering the tournament fairly hot, winning 3 straight games and 5 of 6. They're playing Tennessee State, who they beat away 68-61. Yes, this number's low, but the issue is that Tennessee State is just poor defensively. They're terrible on the boards. They can't defensive rebound. They don't really stop you that well. They don't shoot great from three-point range. Penny Collins there at Tennessee State. He's there in his 6th year. I like Western Illinois because of the offensive rebounding and because of the fact, even though it's at a neutral site, I just think Western Illinois' physicality, the Leathernecks will play well, and they are hot coming into this tournament. No way you're going to give me 7.5 with Northern Kentucky. Darren Horn, incredible coach, always does a good job. They suffered by missing a player early in the year, and they've come back. Northern Kentucky, 7.5 is not going quietly. Northern Kentucky has been the class of this conference for so many years. They're well coached, and they're really tough out in the horizon. All Darren Horn has done with this team is 20 games, 22 games. This year is only 17-14, but he's 12-8. Look at Darren Horn's record since he's come to Northern Kentucky from South Carolina. 13-5, 11-7, 14-6, 14-6, 12-8. They're going to be a super tough out. I think this is too many points. They did lose to Wright State away, 94-88, but they're going to learn off that. This is the 3rd time they're playing. They've lost to Wright State twice. Again, I don't think it's that Wright State can't win. I just think this is too many points. Northern Kentucky, plus 7.5. Great at forcing turnovers. Great at defending the 3. They're going to keep this game close against Wright State, especially when you're dealing with a game, regardless of whether it's away. I just think it is tough to take the Norse out in the horizon. I'm taking them there. Austin Peay is in a great spot. They're playing North Alabama. North Alabama under Tony Poolhoe, great on the boards, aggressive, but this Austin Peay team has explosive guards that can score in the ASUN. They're going to want to have a battle here with Stetson to get to the window at the end. They're coming off a win over North Florida. The North Florida game was very tricky. They shoot the 3 real well. The game went to overtime, but they got the win. That's the game that Austin Peay had to get through. Now they're playing North Alabama. They'd entered this tournament winning 7 of 8 games. They don't turn the ball over. They shoot the 3 super well, and they have players who can light it up. Austin Peay. They had 23 points from Desi Jones, who didn't even hit a 3, by the way. And DeMarcus Sharp, of course, we know how great he is. 35 points, 14 of 22 from inside the arc, and made his free throws as well. So the guard play, the explosiveness, I think they got through the hump with North Florida. They're going to get picked off. I'll take them there. I'm taking Oregon minus 2.5 against Colorado. I'm very split on Colorado. People love them because of their upside. People love them because of their talent. I just think Oregon is still really tough. And Oregon with Dana Altman is very good in these situations. Oregon has struggled. They struggled away at California. They struggled away at Arizona. But home, they've been fairly strong here. Played tough against Arizona, lost, beat Oregon State at home. They're now playing Colorado, who when they went away, they lost 86-70. Folks, Oregon never wins at Colorado. That's the thing. I think Dana Altman has done it once, maybe, in his time since he's come over to Oregon. But this is a better matchup now that it is home. They are solid. They play at a decently slow pace, but they do make their free throws as well. In Colorado, as much as people like them, they've won 4 games in a row. Stanford, California, Utah at home, and USC away. That is not the caliber of playing Oregon on the road. Don't trust this team as much as you're talented. And I just think they're a different team away from home, and I think they're going to disappoint. I am taking Oregon with the 2.5 there. We got a couple games left. I think Cal Baptist is worth a sprinkle at UT Arlington. This is in the WAC. Cal Baptist, this is his 2 games left. They're coming off a big win over UT Rio Grande. UT Arlington, I don't know why they've been favored by this many points. Yes, they're 12-7, and yes, they're playing well, but this is still a team that turns the ball over way too much, and a team that's not great. They're very reliant on the 3. They shoot the 3. They have to make it at home, and now they're playing Cal Baptist in their home end of the year. Cal Baptist is going to slow you down to a grind. They're great on the boards. So UT Arlington, if they don't make their 3s, Cal Baptist hangs around in this game. 7.5, I think, is way too much. Last game before we get to the comments, Georgia State as a pick versus Marshall. Marshall has been disappointing all season long in the Sun Belt. Dan D'Antoni does a good job, but boy, they have been brutal. They lost 6 straight games. They're terrible with effective field goal percentage. They play at a fast pace, but they turn the ball over. Now they're playing Georgia State, who really is going in the other direction. Beat Marshall at home last game of the year, so it's a bounce back. They play him right away again. They beat Old Dominion away. They beat Coastal at home. They battle with James Madison at home. They battled James Madison twice in the last couple of weeks. They're great at defending the three. They don't turn the ball over. I think Georgia State's a better team. I think Georgia State is live as a possible team that can go a couple rounds here as well. Let's get to your comments across the board. Dan in the house. Yeah, Tennessee's a real deal, Dan. That's why I got him as national champion. I love Minnesota didn't show up. Let's move over. Let's have a big day. Valpo and Belmont under, totally fine with that, Howie, in agreement with you as well. Let's Randle Reading during work. Very good. Very good. Don't get in trouble there, though. That's the issue. North Alabama plus the points versus Peay. Their games are usually tight. I get it. I just think Peay's guards are going to be the difference, Howie. I really do. I think they're going to be the difference, and they're going to be the real deal. Tommy B, appreciate you, brother, being in here as well. Wisconsin to stay away. Howie, I can't take that. Rutgers plays hard. They're physical. Wisconsin, it reminds me of last night. Like, BC is not a great team, but Miami has showed us how bad they are. They know what the deal is. Wisconsin has shown us the situation. They're not going to magically get chemistry. You're going to give me almost double digits with Rutgers. I'm going to take it as well. Jerry, I agree. And Quinnipiac, I think it is. Yeah, Iona is very helter-skelter, but Jerry, they hit those threes. It's good morning, good afternoon, and good night. So it's a perfect live betting situation. Yeah, it's a one-bid league, MLB fan. It's a total one-bid league, and it's a shame because I love the teams in the Missouri Valley Conference. But if you look at the conference standings, they're not taking Drake as an at-large. Bradley started slow because of the injuries, and they're only 13-7. The only argument you could make would be Indiana State, but I think it's a one-bid league. If I'm Indiana State, I want to take care of business and get to this tournament. Only second time I think they've gotten to the tournament. First being the Larry Bird era as well. Very excited. Yeah, I appreciate it, Poe. We got more coming for you. We have the big conferences as well. Mike Kuchar and I are cutting those up, so we're going to have great content where we give you the favorite, the sleeper, heart versus head, right? Scott Cross covers. I put that in there. I can't pick them, but you know I like them as well. Dan, I get it. It's 8.5, huh? Yeah, I think Stetson at home, I just think that is very tough. And Jacksonville has played well. It's a lot of points. It really is. But Stetson is going to be very, very difficult as home. Wright State, worse at home than away. Go the Norse. Yeah, the Norse are going to be fantastic. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Jerry, if they've played first tournament game favors, yeah, against season play. I get that, Jerry, but they're home, and I pick my spots. There are teams that I think, like yesterday, we did very well with Queens, and we were looking good for a while, but then they're nailing off with some of the other games as well. So it depends on the situation as well. Yeah, Lynn Chapman, I appreciate it. We will get to this game. Unless you tell me otherwise, I believe Reynolds is out. And if Noah Reynolds is out, I think you know where I'm going with this game. But if you have any more information, let me know as well. Yeah, Aiden wants. We're going to get to that one, Aiden. So let's get into it now. Keep rolling through. Got some more games here. I don't know why this line's 9.5. Sam Houston State is a problem. They are right with Louisiana Tech. I think the reason that this game is high is because if you look in Conference USA, Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston State are tied, and Sam Houston State has beat Louisiana Tech 81-77 at home. Still, 9.5 is an awful lot. Could be an injury or something that I have to look up, but 9.5 points with Sam Houston State is absolutely worth taking a look at. I am taking Milwaukee plus 1.5 at Green Bay. Milwaukee, if you look at their games lately, Milwaukee has been incredibly scalding hot with BJ Freeman, has been absolutely lights out. And now they're playing the rivalry game against Green Bay, and it is on the road. But I don't believe Noah Reynolds is playing. Milwaukee beat Cleveland State away. They beat Northern Kentucky. They lost in overtime to a good Youngstown State team. They beat Purdue Fort Wayne hung 96. They beat Uwe Pui away, and they beat Green Bay at home by 21. And then they beat Detroit Mercy at home in the tournament. So they have an advantage of having played one game already, and now they're going away to Green Bay, who only survived to get the bye by beating Cleveland State away. But without Noah Reynolds, I cannot take Green Bay in any way, shape, or form in this matchup. As much as Sundance Wicks has done a fantastic job, and I know the game is home, if you hear Noah Reynolds is playing, it's a stay away from me. But otherwise, I am taking Milwaukee. Illinois, Chicago is dead man walking. I'll take Southern Illinois in this matchup. Southern Illinois, of course, with the incredible work of Xavier Johnson. They are on the neutral court here, of course, against Illinois, Chicago. But Xavier Johnson has ball, will travel. And they're playing an Illinois, Chicago team that they actually swept this year. Illinois, Chicago, and I love Luke Yaklich's defense. He was down in Texas. He was Michigan. He did all this great stuff. Just is not the same as a head coach. Has not been able to translate it. They are 4-16. They lost to Indiana State, Drake, Missouri State. Their only one was at home over Evansville, and their only road win that they had this year was away at Illinois State. The last time they won a road game besides Illinois State was away at Jacksonville State. So I know this is on a neutral, but this team doesn't play very well. They also don't make free throws, only shooting 69% from the free throw line, and they don't rebound. I think Illinois is a better coach. I think they have the better player, and I think they're very dangerous here, can make a run, even though they're only 11-9 in the Missouri Valley. So I'm laying the big number here. I don't trust Illinois, Chicago. And then finally, going back to some over-unders here, I like unders in the neutral court. Coastal Carolina, Louisiana, we're going to go under 150. Belmont would have to shoot really well to get this in Arch Madness. I'm taking 156. I'll take the under with Valpo as well. Texas State usually gets their pace, but they really struggle to score. So I think Southern Miss on the short line, again, an under of 136. Illinois State and Evansville, again, a neutral court game, slow pace, sloppy, some turnovers. Illinois State, under 135.5. Western Illinois with those offensive boards, like I said, should keep this game close, but neither team is great from the free throw line, and neither team is great at scoring, under 134.5. And then to finish off our neutral court unders, let's take Marshall and Georgia State under 152. Don't be scared of Dan D'Antoni because he wants to up the ante there because he scores fast. I'll take the under in these matchups. So neutral court unders across the board there. Let's get some other comments. The Pepperdine game, Holiday. I kept this one off the list because I wasn't sure. Pepperdine playing Pacific at the neutral. Pacific has been very shaky. This spread, though, is actually fairly high for a team in Pepperdine. And I think they just got rid of Lorenzo Romar. Didn't they let him go? So now it's an interim coach, Pacific. Terrible. It's just two really bad teams. So I want no part of this matchup as well. Noah Reynolds said, see you Thursday on social media. Heard a few back. Jerry, if he's back, I get it, but he's got to be back, and he's got to be back to 20 points a game because this is the first time, I think, since 2001 and 2002 that Green Bay has not had another player averaging over 10 points per game. So not only does Noah Reynolds have to be back, he has to be back, and he has to be scoring 20 points per game. That's a big ask. I would check as we get closer to game time here, but I am taking Milwaukee +1 in that matchup as well. That's it. Yeah, we talked about that. Dan on Stanford, Cal, I'm staying away from it. It's a rivalry game. Stanford has a lot of injuries, but they got payback. Cal beat them at Stanford. It's a very close game, but Cal was able to win and cover, I believe, in the first matchup. Bands on the field. You know the deal. I'm staying away from this one as well. And does Nicholls cover? Holiday. Does Nicholls cover? Let's see. Yeah, again, this is one in the Southland. I think Southland has one game left. Nicholls is on the road against Sela. I usually like Nicholls. They shoot the three well. They played them and beat them at home 66-61. I would lean Sela in this matchup here. Sela is hot. Only games they lost were home to Lamar and away at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, which is top 2 team in the league. I actually leaned Southeast Louisiana in this matchup if you made me pick. Like the fact they also make their free throws as well. UCLA, Arizona, Aiden had no read on this one. UCLA was terrible. Then they got the big speech from Mick Cronin. They played well, and now they're back to their really struggles on offense. So a lot of points for UCLA to get it home, but my concern is Arizona going to keep this one close, win, and then pull away very late? That's my question. No interest. Don't even want to get involved in it. Charlton State, do they cover this number? Good job by Billy Gillespie coming back from a rough situation. He just got re-upped in his contract. Tarleton, 15-3 overall. Nation's second longest winning streak in Tarleton. They are a half game behind Grand Canyon. So very hard for me to see them stumbling here. They turn the ball over. They turn you over a ton. They don't turn the ball over themselves. They shoot 77% from the free throw line, and they're playing a Utah Valley team that just stumbled at UT Arlington but is playing well. I lean Charlton in this matchup because I don't think Charlton State is going to fumble with this opening, and their chance now that if they win out in the Western Athletic Conference, they're going to finish at 17-3, tied with Grand Canyon. Don't think they're going to lose that one. Thank you, folks. As always, like and subscribe. Come back Saturday morning, 9:30. We're having a giveaway here at FTN. Got to like, subscribe, you put some comments in. Can't wait to announce it. March Madness content. We're planning it. We're ready to go. We're going to have a live show right after the brackets come out. Make sure you get ready for that as well. Looking forward to it. Always appreciate you guys coming in. We bet together. It's the family. We do what we do, and we get to the window. That's what we do. Mike Randle, FTN, Chief Content Officer. No better time. It's March. Let's enjoy.